City of Stevens Point Common Council Reorganization and Special Committee Meetings, recorded April 19, 2022.
We will call the reorganizational meeting of the Stevens Point Common Council to order. Welcome to our new alderpersons, Alderperson Carlson and Alderperson Shuda. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Shore. Here. Keemer.
Here.
Zarazua.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Carlson.
Here.
Kneebone.
Here.
Shuda.
Here.
Dalton.
Here.
Fischler. Here. Morrow.
Here.
And everyone is present, and we have Christensen online. He has not been sworn in yet, so he will not be eligible to vote at any point during this meeting. We also, before we get started, I want to clarify a few things. It seems I have to do it every year, which is okay. But the list of appointees are only those positions that were vacant or up for reappointment. I'll give you an example. Alderperson Christensen is on Historic Preservation and Design Review, but his term doesn't expire until next year. So you will not see him up for appointment on the list. These are only new appointments and reappointments of terms that have expired now. Most of them are generally August or April 30th, just so everybody knows, okay? So if you don't see your name, that likely means that your term on whatever committee or whatever commission, that has not yet expired. All right, and then the other thing that I need to do is we are going to remove Alderperson Zarazua from the Administrative Appeals Board. So that is going to be an amendment. I need someone to do that officially, please.
Assuming
Now?
that conversation, what's the reason if you could
Just
provide-
personal reasons.
Okay. I thought I'd ask.
I just need someone to,
I'll make a motion.
okay. So the motion is made by Dalton, seconded by Morrow, to remove Alderperson Zarazua from the Administrative Appeals Board recommendation. We will have a consideration for that. It has to be an alderperson, so anybody who's interested in jumping in on that one, let me know and we'll get that done at the next council meeting. The other thing I'd like to amend is Stephen Klein, who had been running for Common Council, came into my office yesterday after I had already submitted the list. And believe me, this list with almost 40 positions was challenging, as it is every year, to try and find people that are qualified and willing to serve. Stephen Klein had come in and asked about committee appointments. I explained to him that, boy, I just sent that last week, would have been nice. However, we do have an opening as a second alternate on the Zoning Board of Appeals. So I would like to amend my recommendation list to include Stephen Klein as the second alternate on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I would need a motion to make that official.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Keemer, seconded by Johnson. Okay, so now, our first item is the mayoral appointments to various boards and commissions as amended.
I make a motion to approve the list as presented.
Thank you.
Could I second it? With the amendments.
Certainly can.
With the amendments.
Yep, the motion to approve as amended, seconded by Alderperson Carlson.
Because he did it before.
Discussion.
I have a real dilemma here with Mr. Horning. If you read why he wants to serve, I am pursuing these positions as a benefit to my real estate career. That's what he says.
They said that.
Aside from, I simply enjoy the little things. My health, family, career, interests, and service will all be tied into my decision-making. He's a real estate agent. I think this is a blatant conflict of interest, and I have a real problem with him serving, and I can't support that. But we just turned someone down for another committee for that very reason. The issue was, I think this would help me in my career. If you want to serve, bless you, but don't serve in something that, there could be inside information to a realtor that could be a problem. So if it was anything but that board, that wouldn't be tied in so much with his career, and he's in business with his mom and his dad. So if you read what he put forward, anyway, that's all I'll say. I appreciate his willingness to serve, I really do, but I think this is in my mind, it's a conflict of interest. So it's an ethical dilemma for me to support that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other comments?
Are you talking about the entire, just the boards and commissions, or the other?
That individual,
Okay.
that particular appointment.
Okay.
So,
I am concerned or confused by the third paragraph. You know, that, I wish that wasn't in there. I like the second paragraph where he wants to give back and help the less fortunate. But the third paragraph, I wish it wasn't in there because it does make you stop to pause. That's just my opinion.
Okay, this recommendation came from Director Karnowski. We had some alternate positions. Director Karnowski isn't here, of course, to discuss why, but in my discussions with him, he says he's known Jordan for about 8 years, I believe, and knows him to be an upstanding citizen and thinks he would fit well on these committees and commissions. It looks like he is set for Board of Review as an alternate 1 and Historic Preservation Design Review as an alternate 2. Since they're alternates, they don't vote unless a person is absent. But I don't think it's going to hurt either way. Now we have another opening to fill.
Sure.
But I can tell you, as I said, I had discussion with Director Karnowski. I did talk to Jordan over the phone, but this came directly from Director Karnowski as a recommendation for that position. Alder Morrow.
I know we have someone on the board now, and he abstains from a lot of things, because I know he's in the construction field as well, he's in the housing field. And whenever there's a vote or there's a discussion in regard to something that he even perceives that there's going to be a conflict, he always backs out of that.
Yeah, and I think the city attorney, of course, could speak to this, but we have lots of people who have potential conflicts of interest. We have an alderperson, for example, whose wife is a city employee. We have a member of the Plan Commission who is part of a development team that the city has worked with. I can't think of any or right off the top of my head again. Pete Arnson, for example, has his own business. Mike Disher on the Tourism Commission, Michelle Sedlak, also on the Tourist Commission, have businesses and interests that are, in some cases, related to tourism. So it comes down to a matter of whether or not you would trust this person to seek legal advice regarding any potential conflicts of interest, and whether or not you believe this person would have the moral commitment to recuse themselves from any vote that might be a conflict of interest in relation to any businesses or dealings that they own.
I don't know Jordan from anyone, but I think if there was a problem, you could address it midstream, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
6 months from now, if there's a problem, so.
And I trust that because this recommendation came from Director Karnowski, and he has oversight on both of these boards, that he would make us aware of any potential conflict of interest.
actually, Mayor, that's probably good enough for me, too. I trust Director Karnowski's professional standards
Okay.
and ethics as a fellow urban planner, so if, because urban planning is sexy,
You've never mentioned that, Mary.
never.
Never.
I'll have to try to get that in once more. So I think if this is something that the director is brought forward, then I think that would probably be good enough for me. I trust that he would have vetted him.
Thank you.
You bet.
I find it interesting that you trust Director Karnowski's recommendation, but, not mine. We have a member of the public who wishes to speak. Mr. Christensen? Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
Oh.
You still got to unmute yourself.
Now you have to say
There you go.
something.
I unmuted me. You muted me when you unmuted me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I actually had a chance to meet Jordan last week. We happened to be at a social gathering for Rotary. He's in the noon Rotary Club. I'm in the Friday morning one, but we had a combined social, and so I had a chance to talk with him. I was pretty impressed. He seems to be well spoken, and I think from a little bit of conversation, he did mention that he had put his name in for committees. So my impression of him was very positive. So
Thank you. All
What
right,
else were-
any other comments? President Johnson? Yeah,
Yeah.
still president.
Whatever. I respond to a lot of different things that I'm called.
Yeah, me too.
So my one question is, it is about conflict, and I think we've seen it a couple of times, not, and this isn't about concerns about character, is Alderperson Christensen, or however we're referring to everybody now,
Only for a few minutes.
to Mark. So, there we go. On personnel, because his wife.
Oh, we're not looking at that yet.
Okay,
That'll
That's-
be on standing
all right.
committees next.
okay. I was trying to make that clarification, so, all right, thank you, appreciate it.
Any other comments on the various boards and commissions, excluding the standing committees? Okay, then clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Fischler.
Aye.
Dalton.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Nebone.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Zerazua.
Aye.
Keimer.
Aye.
Shore.
And that is approved. Next is mayoral appointments of council to standing committees. And President Johnson, you had a concern in regards to Mark Christensen being on the Personnel Committee. We've talked about this last year. This is a reappointment to Personnel.
Right.
And should there be any potential conflict of interest,
Yeah.
Christensen would recuse himself.
May we hear from him? 'Cause
Absolutely.
My concern is, and I've seen this at the county, where there's a committee with 6 members, and there's a 3-3 split all the time, and I'm sure you know which committee I'm referring to.
Yep.
And then there's no action. So if there's a number of times that Alder Christensen needs to recuse himself because of conflict, there's always that risk for split. So I guess I'm not, he's a very ethical person, so this is not the concern, but I think we need to state it publicly, because I wondered why, Alderperson Carlson wouldn't be appointed to personnel, because I suspect you dealt with personnel issues in the past. Yeah, good, bad, and ugly.
Mr. Christensen, care to respond?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, I have, I think in the short amount of time I've been on the council, I think I've recused myself 3 times.
Yeah.
There has been just a handful, I guess, of those 3 times, probably 2 out of 3, I wouldn't have had to recuse myself. There was no direct financial benefit to be gained by my wife, but it was, again, more of an issue of, when in doubt, if it's going to create a public perception, I wanted to avoid that. So I have been quite careful about it. Yeah. So I'm quite aware of it. I think it hasn't caused problems in the past. We haven't had votes that were split 3-3 in the short amount of time I've been on that wouldn't have been able then to have a tie broken. I suppose that is theoretically possible. It hasn't occurred in the short amount of time I've been on, but
Although it would be
I do understand your concern.
Right, right.
Right, and all of our standing committees are advisory to council ultimately. I mean, honestly, it's no different than, Alderperson Johnson when we do our solid waste contracts through
Which is why
Finance
I
Committee
always
or
recuse myself, right.
the disposal of waste, which we've gotten some cooperation from the Marathon County landfiller, Alderperson Dalton, for example, having a business downtown.
Sure.
These things come up, you just recuse yourself.
Yeah, I think it's important to have the conversation. For transparency, because
Agreed.
unfortunately, that thing called Facebook, there were some kind of strange accusations made, when Alder Christensen was appointed and, conflict, and his wife works for the city, and this is some sort of secret cabal, and, I think it's important to have the conversation, ask the individual and make clear, so it's on the record.
I get it. I'll take a little liberty here. Logan probably remembers Norm, who owned the vacuum cleaner shop
Oh,
in
yeah.
town.
Yeah. Barbara?
There's a, Barbara, yes.
Yeah.
He was an alderperson, and there was uncovered an archaic state statute that said any alderperson that did business with licensed establishments, bars,
Oh,
they couldn't serve. Now, it was archaic, and at the time, Representative Malepsky was looking into it, but Norm resigned because he's the only vacuum cleaner salesman in town. Bars use vacuums. So because he sold vacuums to bars, He felt, and he was advised that he didn't need to, but he was advised, and he chose to take the safe path and just resign his job as alderperson.
Wow.
Weird stuff happens, but
Roughly what
it's good
year
to talk
was
about it.
Had
Oh,
to
I don't
be,
know,
early
2010?
80s?
20, okay.
No,
No.
2010, 2008, somewhere in that range.
1990.
Not that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, so it's good to, you're right, it's good to get all that stuff out in the open, so everybody knows what everybody else is doing. Anyway, we don't have a motion yet.
No.
Moved by Zarazua. We'll give the second to Shuda. He's new.
Give it to the new guy.
All right, any further discussion? You are only approving the appointees. The committees will each choose their own chair in meetings that are going to immediately follow, with the exception of Board of Public Works, which is another archaic state statute that says we have to do it on what, the first Tuesday in May or something
I believe that's
Tuesday of May.
correct.
weird like that.
Wow.
So, yes, right?
It's peculiar.
So, all right, all those in favor will vote yes, opposed will vote no, and the clerk will call that roll.
Shore.
Aye.
Kimmer.
Aye.
Zarazua.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Dalton.
Aye.
Fischler.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Next one is nominations and election of council president. I will open the floor for nominations. Alderperson Shore.
Thank you, Mayor. For the sixth time in as many years, I would like to nominate Alder Johnson to be council president.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? We don't need seconds for nominations. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? That's another archaic rule.
I was
There's
gonna
another-
say, I heard you the first time.
I've never heard anyone say that, though.
I'm not retired.
All right, seeing and hearing no other nominations, I close nominations and would accept a motion to cast a unanimous ballot for president, for Melissa Johnson as council president.
So moved.
A second.
Seconded by Keemer. Discussion there?
Fischler.
Oh, sorry.
I know it wasn't Kimmer.
We're gonna slow down a little bit.
Very
Nebo, Fischler, Keemer.
No fine.
You're turning
Right.
their name tags this
Right, yes, that might help.
Right.
All right. We need a roll call on that, or is voice?
Voice
okay.
is fine.
Voice is fine. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is approved. Congratulations, Madam President.
Thank you.
Now, we will recess the Common Council meeting so we may conduct a special Board of Public Policy General Government Committee that so rolls off the tongue. A special Personnel Committee and a special Finance Committee, and then we will reconvene afterwards to accept those actions. So Clerk, I will turn it over to you with special Public Policy and General Government Committee meeting.
Okay, Public Policy General Government meeting is called to order. First item on the agenda is election of committee chair. Are there any nominations?
Who's on the committee?
Keeley?
Nominate Mark Christensen. He's on public policy now, right?
Can they do that? since
I
he's
don't
not-
think we can because he's not an alderperson yet.
Okay. That's a
Can he be
conundrum.
sworn in? Can he be sworn in?
No.
He's being personal.
No,
Because the-
believe me,
because the
Alderperson,
sig-
we
because the
have
signature.
checked extensively
Okay.
on options for today. We're just stuck.
I would like to rescind that then.
It's an invalid motion, so you don't need to rescind it. We're all good.
I'd like to nominate Mary Kneebone. Alder Kneebone, please.
I would like to decline. I serve on 6 committees, and we have a lake house now, and I really don't want to take on one more responsibility.
I will rescind my,
Getting good at that.
Give
Somebody else wanna give it a go?
chance. I've served as a chair on this committee.
Would you take a question?
Well,
from a
the other
non-
two alderpersons have experience, so
Would you take a question from a non-committee member?
I don't know what you mean.
I would like to ask a question about this. I'm not on the
Well,
committee.
we just have a nomination. This is just nominations
okay.
for chair.
Hasn't the committee been called to order?
No.
Yes, the
Sorry,
committee's been called to order, but
I'm not on
we're,
the committee. I would
we're,
like to
we're
ask
looking
them.
for nominations for chair. That's it.
That's the agenda.
Oh, they
I
can't?
would then like to nominate Alder Keemer as chair.
Don't turn it down.
I know.
I second.
Man.
If you do,
Yeah.
you're stuck with one other nomination.
Should I just nominate myself?
Actually, it's legal. That's legal.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I have never chaired a committee, so I would prefer to like vice chair a committee first. So I would be happy to vice chair
do
if Alder Fischler would be kind enough to chair.
Are you nominating her?
She'd
I am
stop
nominating
nominating
you.
everyone else.
Keemer
Go with the nomination
nominates-
for Keemer, or Fischler. Keemer nominating Fischler.
Yes, Keemer nominates
You're adding to
Fischler.
the confusion.
Very awkward nominating process.
Are there any other nominations?
So weird.
Are there any other nominations?
Okay.
Are there any other further nominations? Hearing no further nominations, we need a motion to cast a unanimous ballot for Fischler as chair.
So moved.
Always looks smoother from out there.
Ebon,
By Keemer for Fischler.
but who made the who seconded?
Nebo and
Nebo
Keemer.
Keemer, okay, got it. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Congratulations, Chair Fischler.
Thank you, Alder Fischler.
Now we'll
That was very unexpected.
Chair Fischler, now you have to call for nominations for a vice chair.
Yep.
Okay. All right, nominations for vice chair for public policy and general government.
I think we should honor Alder Keemer's suggestion, and I'd like to nominate her for vice chair. It'd be a good experience.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay, all those in favor, say,
Oh, you need a motion.
You have to
Oh.
close it,
okay.
close nominations.
Are
As
you-
chair, you close nominations.
Nominations are now closed.
And then you will ask for a motion to cast a unanimous ballot for Alderperson Keemer as vice chair.
Did I get a motion to cast a unanimous ballot for Alder Keemer as vice chair?
Do I vote for myself?
Yes.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Move to,
Okay.
and a second?
Pick.
I think it was McCura and Ginger, wasn't it?
Who seconded? We're going to give you the motion.
Zarazua.
First.
Yep.
Okay, so Zarazua first, okay, and then seconded by Keemer, okay.
We just need a second. Okay, Keemer, seconds. Gotcha.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Okay, and
Adjourn.
adjourn, okay, this meeting is adjourned.
We'll
Personnel.
now call Personnel Committee meeting to order. First item on the agenda, election of committee chair. Are there any nominations?
I'll nominate Alder Zarazua.
Second?
Dalton nominates Zarazua.
Second.
We don't need a second.
No.
Oh, right, oh, right.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no further nominations, move to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Zarazua
Yes.
as chair of personnel.
So
Need-
moved.
need- Okay, Dalton,
Second?
Shore, seconds. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Hey!
I'm glad you got that, Sean.
Okay, congratulations. Now
All
you
right.
take over for vice chair.
This has been the most comical
Chair Zarazui, you're up.
committee.
Nominations for vice chair.
We're taking nominations for vice chair. Yes, Alder Shore.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Alder Dalton as vice chair.
Okay. Any other nominations for vice chair? So loud in here.
Again.
Any other nominations
It
for
feels
vice
weird,
chair?
doesn't it?
Any other nominations for vice chair? All right, then we'll close the nominations and we'll take a motion to cast unanimous ballot for Alder Dalton as vice chair.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Shore, seconded by Dalton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Thank you. Alder Dalton will be our vice chair. And with that, our agenda is exhausted. adjourned meeting.
There you go.
Finance
meeting.
Committee meetings called to order. First item on the agenda, election of committee chair. Are there any nominations?
I'll nominate Alder Johnson as chair.
Okay, Dalton nominates Johnson. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? No further nominations. Close nominations and cast unanimous ballot for Johnson as chair for finance. Need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Okay, congratulations, and
Thank you very much. All right, I will entertain nominations for vice president of the.
Chair.
Vice president, yes, for
Vice chair.
vice chair. I'm already,
For vice.
You're thinking bigger. Yeah, yeah.
as a short person, I need to think bigger.
Dun, dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun.
I will entertain a motion for vice chair of the finance committee.
I nominate Ms. Dalton.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I think I said it 3 times.
No,
One
twice.
more.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to cast a unanimous ballot.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second for Dalton as vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed would be no. Motion carries. Congratulations, Madam Vice Chair. Although if you want to be Vice President, I don't care. I think you'd do a fabulous job. And we are now adjourned.
All right, then we will reconvene the regular reorganizational meeting of the Common Council. The only action that we have is to approve, or consider rather, the actions of the Special Public Policy and General Government, Special Personnel Committee, and Special Finance Committees. Does anyone want the minutes read from those meetings?
No, we're good. We're good.
So we are waiving the reading of the minutes.
Correct.
Everybody knows what the actions are. Do we need to go over vice chairs and chairs again?
Nope.
Or are we good? Because we
We're
got it
good.
written down. All right, then I would accept a motion to accept those actions or approve those actions.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
moved by Fischler, seconded by Morrow. Any discussion there? Hearing none. You want a roll call on that?
yeah.
Roll call, please.
Morrow.
Aye.
Fischler.
Aye.
Dalton.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Zerazua.
Aye.
Keimer.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
And that is approved, and we are adjourned at 5:28. Thank you all.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.